If you were a child back in the 90s, chances are you remember a toy named Creepy Crawlers. For me, it was the epitome of a cool toy, making creepy crawling insects to scare your family and friends. However, the product's history stretches all the way back to the 1960s, and after some controversy would be abandoned by the toy maker who at one point saw great success with it, only to be revived by a new company in the 90s and then by another company in the 2000s, with rights to the show going to Saban Entertainment and then Disney and Paramount buying the movie rights. It makes me wonder, whose toy is it anyway? The Creepy Crawlers toy line would be first introduced to the world in 1964 by toy company Mattel. The toy would feature metal molding trays that would be placed into an oven called the Thing Maker, then filled with a liquid plastic called Plastigoop, eventually curing and producing insect toys. The product was well received and would be a hit for the company, being the second best-selling toy that year, losing out to G.I. Joe. Capitalizing on their success, spin-off toys were produced that utilized the same technology, leading Mattel to produce toy sets such as Fighting Men, which included molds to produce army men, and Fright Factory, which included molds to make costume disguises like scars and eyeballs. To appeal to the female demographic, other sets like Fun Flowers, which were molds of flowers, and Dolly Maker, which were molds of dolls and doll accessories, were created as well. The toy, which involved children heating metal trays, would lead to small injuries, and concerns about the product's safety were raised by the Consumer Product Safety Commission, eventually leading to the products being discontinued in 1973. By 1978, Mattel would release Thing Maker 2, which was a revised version of the original model, which had changes made to address the safety concerns, though it would take over an hour for the molds to cure. Overall, the toy did not sell well and was quickly discontinued. By the year 1990, a new company would be entering the toy industry under the name ToyMax Inc., expressing the sentiment that they had wanted to use technology and licensing, but not in the same way that everyone else was using them. This would lead to the company creating some of the most iconic toys of the 90s, one of which was the revival of the Creepy Crawlers. ToyMax would begin filing trademarks on Mattel's now lapsed trademarks for their Thing Maker toy lines, including Fright Factory, Creeple People, and of course Creepy Crawlers, to name a few. After retheming the toy to fit the aesthetic of the 90s and revising aspects of the oven to address the safety concerns, such as a locking oven door, which would only open when cooled, the product would then be relaunched to the public in 1992. A variety of molds from licensed IPs would be produced as well, such as Batman, Spider-Man, X-Men, The Mask, Gargoyles, and Power Rangers, to name a few. By 1994, an animated series would be produced by Saban Entertainment based on the Creepy Crawlers toy, adding lore to the Magic Maker oven. The toy line, which supported the TV show, would feature action figures and vehicles from the show, with each figure having a mold which you could use in your Creepy Crawler playset to create additional accessories to adorn your action figures. The show would run for 2 seasons before ending in 1996. Other toys produced to support the Creepy Crawlers toy line would include a board game as well. Later in 1996, other spin-off toys would be produced, such as the Creepy Crawlers House of Horrors, Creature Creator Workshop, and the Night Crawlers set. Enthusiasm for the toy had begun diminishing, as reflected in the declining sales. ToyMax would attempt to keep the product fresh through retheming the Creature Creator Workshop and licensing the rights to Pixar's A Bug's Life, which would lead to the movie-themed Bug Creator. In the year 2000, ToyMax would attempt to revive the Creepy Crawlers brand by launching the product again with a new look and releasing another board game tied into the brand as well, but the company did not see the same success that they saw when they initially released the product in 1992. In 2001, Fox Kids would be purchased by Disney, and the rights to the TV series would be passed on to them, and by the year 2002, Jakks Pacific would buy ToyMax for $54 million and take over the rights to the ToyMax properties. Jakks would release restyled Creepy Crawler machines throughout the 2000s, starting in 2003, then again in 2006, 2007, 2008, and so on, along with mold kits and other branded toys. They would also focus on licensing popular IPs of that time and creating branded toy sets around them, such as Pokemon, Star Wars, and Hello Kitty. Toys R Us would begin to report problems with the 2010 models, citing complaints over the molds leaking. The run of Jakks Pacific's Creepy Crawler toys from this time did not seem to have the same impact that ToyMax once had in the early 90s. In 2016, a 3D printer Creepy Crawlers toy set was announced, but they would soon be cancelled, and in 2018, movie rights were secured by Paramount to produce a live-action movie, though no plans about that project has been announced yet. In 2019, Jakks Pacific rebranded the Creepy Crawlers once again, utilizing a more modern look and making significant changes to the functionality of the machine itself, though interest for the brand overall seems to be at an all-time low. So this toy, at one time when I was a kid, one of the coolest things you could own, now seems to be dead and buried with no plans for its future. I want to go back and take a look at some of the merchandise that I grew up with as a kid. I have the Creepy Crawlers TV show on VHS. What's special about this is that this is actually the screener tape that would go out to toy stores and movie distributors for them to buy the toys, the movies, everything like that. Any VHS tapes of Creepy Crawlers are pretty rare and hard to get. I just happened to get this by chance. I talked about it before. This gives you the order number of some of their products and suggests the retail price and everything like that. So I have yet to watch this. So I'm gonna pop it into my VCR and we're gonna watch it and react to it in real time with you guys. So let's check it out. Creepy Crawlers, the TV show.
Was it something I did? I'm just a normal kid.
I was really adored this intro.
I'm not sure what they are, but they're totally bizarre. My name's Chris. Let me tell you about the moonlighted night when Creepy Crawler Goomandos came in a flash of light. All this glowing goop.
Yeah, this was the early 90s, so everything had to be with these like rap theme songs. Really nice visuals for the intro though. Theme songs, but you know.
Whoa, did you see that? And for my next trick, a rabbit from my hat.
The only bunnies I want to see are dust bunnies on the end of your broom.
Huh?
You have the for promotional use only scrolling across the bottom. That's awesome.
Up around here, boy, not perform cheap tricks.
No. How is he not dead? An elephant just crushed him. That is one nimble elephant, my god. I love the idea of just magicians getting together and performing tricks for each other.
Not yet, sir. I was just working on my newest trick. I call it the Fabulous Magic Maker.
Magic maker, eh? What's it do?
Too much flash powder?
Now I've got a trick for you, boy. It's called You're Fired.
Honestly, he doesn't do his work at all. He's just kind of, you know, not goofing around, but, you know, doing whatever he wants to do.
What about my magic maker?
I don't know, maybe I'm a bad guy for thinking Guggen Grime isn't terribly wrong for firing him.
Time of my revenge is
I love how the building is just a magician in his hat. That's hilarious.
the magical millennium moment. An event that
Also,
only
Guggen
occurs
Grimes,
once every 1,000
what is that? That his like collar, spiderweb collar? That's awesome. Man, this guy is filled with ambition. He's like hell set on being the world's greatest magician no matter what. No matter being crushed by an elephant, being laughed at by the entire magician community, he's gonna prove it to them all.
Yes. Ah, big, huge bug.
Nice going, folks.
I wouldn't even think that they are bugs.
You shot the poor kid. Hey, who's he calling a huge?
Right? I mean, do they really resemble bugs? I mean, some kind of mutants for sure, but bugs?
I give up. Hurt me. Torture me. Make me listen to the Olsen twins sing.
Why would we
The Olsen twins thing.
You made us.
I did? But where did you guys come from?
In there.
We're
Housebroken too, babe.
I'm Hocus Locus, and that's Bolt Jolt and Tick Trick Tick.
T3 for thought.
There's no way I could remember those names.
Millennium moment works. Perfect. I'll call them my crime grimes. Yes, and when I do, let the world beware.
I love how they're just casually naming every figure in here. Like how they just called them the Goop Mandos before, and now the Crime Grime. Just making sure everyone knows the names of the toys that are going to come out.
Don't get near my car.
No problem. You can count on me.
The show's doing like all the classic cliches. Like, oh, have to hide it from the parents. The older brother is a little bit of a bully.
For those of you who think I'm loopy, I'm proud to present Mr. Spooky Goopy.
I'm like waiting for the rhyme not to be cringy.
I can feel it in my bones.
You know, you could do anything, and his only goal is to just be the world's greatest magician. It's like, once he got this power, it was not world domination or, you know, become, you know, rich or anything like that. It was, I'm gonna be the best magician ever.
He's also into the entire underwear department of Bloomingdale's department store, giving a whole new meaning to the saying, eat my shorts. And it's just
Jesus.
toward Channel 27 Studios.
I mean, the lines in the show are just so cringy.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, so that would be the, I think one of the only vehicles that would make it into production. I think the other one got canceled.
You do? I guess the Shocker Roach just went on a crash diet.
You fools! You
Oh my god. Why? Why does the writing have to be like this? Okay, so honestly, it was better than what I remembered. I had gone back and watched it maybe a year or two ago. I got some episodes off of thearchive.org. And the writing's not great. The dialogue is pretty bad. It's kind of fun though. I don't know if it would, I don't think it really pulls it off, but it's just kind of fun anyway. You know, it's okay. I think as a kid show, it's fine. You know, I was hoping that maybe we would get some cool lore added to the Creepy Crawler toy. I mean, the Magic Maker, we got the backstory with Chris making it getting struck by the magic lightning or whatever it is, and it being used by Guggen Grime to take over the world, presumably. I feel like it didn't expand on the toy too much more. In that aspect, a little disappointing, but it's still really cool for considering what the toy is. For a TV show to be made about it, action figures and everything like that. Let me grab my action figure from the series and then we'll take a look at that. Okay, so I have here my Professor Guggen Grime action figure from the TV show. Just initial impressions, I mean, the packaging is really great. I love the colors. I mean, obviously the logo is a great logo. It's really fun. That picture of Guggen Grime, I think looks better than he does look better than he does in the show. And the action figure, I think, is a lot cooler looking than the Guggen Grime we just saw. So like I said before, you get an accessory kit to be used with your Magic Maker Creepy Crawler oven, so you can make different accessories and things for the figure. You know, at one point, this was from Kmart, apparently. It was $8.99. I feel like that was probably marked down. Then it was marked down again to, I can't really tell what that was. Then $6.99, then something else, then $3.97, then $2.25. Apparently they were trying to give these things away. I think I paid like maybe 20 bucks for it. I think I paid 20 bucks for it. It's probably worth more now than it was at the time when it was out. The back of it is really interesting. This profile card here of the character. Some of the other play sets and everything. You have the Crime Grime down there. Goop Mandos over there. All the different plastic goops you could get to use with your Creepy Crawler Magic Maker oven. Just the whole aesthetic of the packaging, though, I think they really knocked it out of the park. Obviously incorporating that slime theme that they, used heavily throughout the product line. Just the bright neon colors are really nice. So you can kind of see, I'm not going to open it, but you see a little bit of the spider webbing on his back collar. I don't know if that maybe the fist punching out is something that comes up later in the series. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty cool toy. If you're into the show, I think it's really cool. What sells me on it is the mold kit that you can use to make accessories for your action figures. I think that's really neat. If you have the oven maker, maybe you want to get the action figure to make other stuff, or vice versa. If you have the action figure, now you gotta get the oven so you can make accessories for your figures. Pretty clever. I really like the idea of that. But again, just really nicely designed and a cool toy. So I do have a few other creepy crawler toys to look at. I have the board game that they put out back in the 90s, but more importantly, I thought the next thing we should look at is the actual creepy crawler oven. This was the coolest toy back in the day. I love the colors that they use. I think the logo is really fun. You get a good idea of, what you can make. You see the front and the top have the full color displays, and then the rest of the box just monocolor. That was pretty standard with toys back in the early 90s. So let's unbox this and take a look. I had already gone through and used this, but here we go. So here is the creepy crawler oven. I love the colors, but the green and the orange, it's just really fun. They just really pop at you. And you get that like plastic smell as soon as you open the box. If you use the toy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So these are some of the plastic goop that's left over. Spatula to put the tray in and out of the oven. We have some of the metal casting trays. Of course, the manual and everything. So really, it's a pretty simple design. Put your tray into the oven. There's a light bulb inside of the toy. The heat from the light bulb is what actually cooks the plastic goop, and it cures and creates your plastic molded insect creatures. So when you turn it on, you see this oven door closes. Little temperature sensor down here. When it goes to hot, it will lock it in place, and then it won't open back up until it is down to the cold setting. Everything about this toy is mechanical. There's nothing digital or anything in it. It's really pretty ingenious how it works. So pretty simple toy, but just such a fun idea for it. So finally, I wanted to take a look at the Creepy Crawlers board game itself. There are a lot of pieces and a lot of rules which made this game a little challenging to figure out how to play. To sum it up, each player has 8 different insects, all of the same color, and upon the player's turn, you hold a numbered card in the reverse direction of yourself and stick one of your bugs to the outward facing side. Wherever your bug lands, the number closest to the direction the bug's head is facing is the number of moves you have for your turn. For example, if you stick your bug closest to the number 3, you get 3 moves you can do, either placing 3 of your bugs on the game board or moving already placed bugs to adjacent rooms. You can only place 1 bug in a room per turn. You can't place 2 of the same bugs from your hand into the same room during the same turn. The goal of the game is to take over 3 rooms in the house with your bugs. To do this, you need to have 3 of your bugs occupy the same room at the same time to effectively capture the room. From there, you leave 1 bug behind to mark the room as captured, and then you can move your bugs to other rooms throughout the house. When the player is placing their bugs on the numbered card, should they land on the Creepy Crawlers logo, they can place character cards onto the game board which act as barriers for other players, limiting their ability to move throughout the house. By the second playthrough, we started getting the hang of it, and it's mildly fun, but I don't see myself reaching for it in the near future. I think the gameplay would be more enjoyable with 4 players, which is the maximum number of players for the game. There's no lore or anything that comes in from the TV show. This is its own separate entity. So guys, that's going to wrap up my video on creepy crawlers. I hope you enjoyed hearing about the history of the toy. Hopefully you liked looking at some of the products that I have from the creepy crawlers toy line. And I don't know, hopefully we get to see this toy once again come back to the market, reimagined to fit today's trends, and I don't know, just something fun that kids can take a liking to and play with, and then pass down to their kids like I'm doing now. So again, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.